Good to be back in touch again. Sriram Raghavendran. So I think today is the third session, and what we've done in the last two sessions was we learned a few techniques, right? And we talked a little bit around them to understand them better. First day, I think we did relaxation, and then we also did meditation. Those are two techniques that we learned. And on week 2, we did cleaning as a technique. And today what I wanted to do is to kind of bring everything together and to kind of provide a little more context, right? In terms of these three techniques, I think we'll stop with these techniques for now and put a little more context around them, and consolidate our understanding, right? But before I get started, right, based on the last couple of weeks, any opening remarks or questions that anybody has? Any thinking aloud, any thoughts you had after the previous session? Have you tried meditation, cleaning? What's been your experience? Let's take a few minutes and if people want to share their thoughts. Any opening remarks, anybody?
You can either speak or share in chat. Please feel free.
Hi, Sriram. It's Mahesh.
Hi, Mahesh.
Hi.
Morning.
Morning. So, for me, some comments, some observations. So, I found meditating first thing in the morning a lot easier.
Yes.
I felt that I could focus a bit more without putting so much effort in.
Mm-hmm. If everyone can go on mute if you're not speaking, please, that will help. Yeah, go on, Mahesh. Yeah.
So that certainly helped.
Okay.
And the decluttering, last thing, kind of finishing work and then decluttering, I felt that I was a bit more patient once I got home. And the normal things, the kids jump on you and you've got so many things to do. I felt that I was a bit more calmer and I felt I had a bit more time just to kind of listen more than anything else.
Yeah, wonderful.
But the thing I was slightly confused on is that when I was trying to declutter, I was I wasn't sure if I was meditating or decluttering.
Very good.
Going through the two, so I wasn't sure. They all both seem to be the same thing eventually to me.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. I mean, first of all, the fact that you've tried it, you had a little experience, some questions. Excellent. Right. We will take your question as this session proceeds. Huh? Anybody else who wants to add on to what Mahesh shared? Any thoughts at all? Have you had a chance to try it? You've not. Did it work the same way? Did it not? Any thoughts at all? Right? I mean, again, I sit in front of my phone here, okay, and it's not a live session, right? So I can't really look at all of you, but at least some interaction will help me as well. So any other thoughts?
Sriram, this is Kishore here. Even for me also, I think initial first day, even I sort of forgot the difference between the meditation and the cleaning exercise. Okay. But then what I did was I did watch the video on cleaning exercise. Then it became clear in terms of what is sort of expected to be done during the cleaning exercise.
Right.
But I did for a couple of days, and at least I found it quite useful doing it at the end of the day.
Very good.
I just hope that I sort of continue to do this on a regular basis and not occasionally.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Anybody else? One last person, and then we'll get started. Okay, let's get started, right? So thank you, Kishore. Thank you, Mahesh, for coming forward and sharing. It definitely helps me get a context, right? So that I can tune whatever message I thought of giving today, okay, to whatever you've shared as well, right? We can go to the next slide. So today what I thought is like, we will clarify some of the contextual information about the 3 techniques we learned, and also talk about, okay, so you're talking about meditation, you're talking about relaxation, you're talking about cleaning, right? Hey, what is all this about, right? I mean, what is the purpose? What's the objective? What's the bigger picture, right? So heartfulness essentially helps you on a journey of what I call inner change or inner transformation, right? We are what we are, right? I mean, but take your name away, take your physical characteristics, take your money, take your job, take your family, take your address away, like, and take your phone number away, right? An email address away, right? What are you? What are you inside, right? And we're all a bundle of qualities, right? Human qualities, right? Positive and negative, right? I mean, anger, patience. Okay, you have broad-mindedness, generosity. You have narrow-mindedness, prejudice, hate, jealousy, greed, love. Okay, so we're all a bundle of qualities, right? And we all have some qualities and not the other, right? Just like when we do gardening, right? We try to deweed the place, right? Because otherwise they take up all the nutrition, right? And we try to bolster, okay, the plants that we want to grow with fertilizer and water and whatnot, right? Similarly, right? I mean, should we not be gardening our own self, right? And de-weeding ourselves, like, of those negative qualities, which is making me smaller than what I should be, right? And should I not promote and work and on really enhancing my positive qualities, right? That journey in inner transformation is what meditation and cleaning over a period of time, when you continue with heartfulness, you will see the negative qualities dropping off and the positive qualities really, taking shape, right? And that's what heartfulness is about. Let's go to the next slide, and I'll talk about how it does that, right? So just to set the context, we talked about 3 practices. Relaxation, okay, the real purpose is, this is more of a beginner's practice, right? Technique, right? You don't need to do it after a couple of weeks, I think, right? And that too, you do it only when you need it, right? If you feel stressed during the day, okay, you relax, right? And it helps relax the body and mind. What does meditation do? Meditation is a technique to train the mind, right? We all talk about the power of thought, right? But the power of thought is, what is the power of thought, right? It's the ability. We all have hundreds of thoughts, right? But we only do 2 or 3 actions, right? How do you take those thoughts and convert it into action, right? How do you make that little difference of transition from thought to action, right? And that is where, like, the mind needs to be trained, to follow through, to be in a state of effortless focus. And the cleaning, it complements it. We'll talk more about this complementing feature. And it's basically, we gather, because of our thoughts and actions, we gather emotional baggage during the day, and which tends to create a burden, irritation, fear, and all kinds of qualities, right? And it troubles us when we sleep. So we try to remove these, okay, emotional baggage, right? It creates a state of inner lightness. Next slide. So that's really what the 3 practices are. Now, when should we practice it, right? We already heard Kishore and Mahesh talk about it. Relaxation, do it. We'll send you an audio. I'll send it today. Okay, and do it only when you need it, right? Otherwise, you can drop relaxation, right? If you feel stressed, or if you're not able to sleep, listen to that. Try to follow the instructions. Stay in your heart for a few minutes. And if you're relaxing, you can open your eyes. If you're sleeping, try to nod off, right? Meditation, again, if you start early in the morning, ideally before sunrise, right, you will find that it is very, very effective, as against doing it later in the day. And same thing at the end of the day, because we do gather dirt, okay, physically, emotionally, okay, from our environment, right? So it really helps us unburden our emotional baggage. Next slide. So duration, how long do I do it, right? When you start, right, take baby steps, right? You can do it for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you're able to, right? As a steady state, where do you go to, right? Meditation, right? I mean, if you can get to a threshold of 30 minutes, it's good. It really helps you settle down and really feel something, right? When you meditate 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, right? It's like a plane taking off, right? It takes 20 minutes for a plane to take off. and another 15 minutes for it to land. Once I had the opportunity to travel 27 miles in the US from New Jersey to a small place near Princeton, right? 27 miles in a flight. And it took me like 25 minutes, right? So it's like that, right? Getting into meditation and settling down itself takes time, right? And then you get out as well. So if you can get it to a threshold, increase it slowly to a threshold of 30 minutes, it's good. If you have time, you like to do it a max of 16 minutes, but not more, right? And cleaning, again, you start with 10-15 minutes, but if you can get it to 30 minutes, it's great. 25-30 minutes, it's good, right? I know a lot of you are thinking like, wow, like, talking about an hour and a half. Kishore asked that question, right? But we'll again visit that towards the end of this session. Yeah, where do you find the time? Yeah, next slide. So what makes it effective, right? I mean, is it just me doing it? Is it me doing it? Is something else assisting me in this? What exactly is happening, right? What makes it tick, right? What's the DNA? What really makes it work, right? So I don't know if I mentioned this in day one, right? I mean, at the end of the meditation session, if you find yourself a little blank, you don't have as many thoughts, you feel to be in a state of peace, calm, relaxation, right? What really helps you do that is not just Sriram here speaking and guiding you through the process, right? Because you could have a MP3 video, like, guide you through the process, right? Would it have the same effect, right? So me and Partha, we're all heartfulness trainers, right? So what exactly do we do beyond just speaking, okay, and giving you an understanding, right? And that's where, like, there is this idea that in heartfulness, when you practice meditation, once you've done the 3 initial introductory sessions, there is a flow of very subtle energy, okay? And this energy, this is what we call transmission, right? And whenever and wherever you sit in meditation, okay, you believe that you have developed the ability to be able to receive this flow of transmission. And that is what really helps you, in some sense, experience deeper states of consciousness, deeper levels or deeper experiences within yourself, right? Sometimes you feel, oh, I think I slept. But ask yourself when you get up, right? Did I sleep? Am I feeling sluggish at this time, or am I feeling alert? If you're feeling alert, it means, like, you do not sleep, but in some sense, you've withdrawn your senses successfully and slipped into yourself, right? And be able to reach a deeper state, right? Where your outside noises don't even trouble you, right? And this is something like, it becomes a very normal affair after some time, right? I'll give you an example, right? I mean, once I was very long back, I was meditating in my living room, okay, and I was a little absorbed in myself, right? At some point in time in meditation, I vaguely had a thought, maybe the TV is going on, right? And maybe somebody switched it on, right? And then I forgot about it. I continued meditation, and then I finished. I got up 20-30 minutes later, and I asked my daughter, hey, did you switch on the TV or something? She said, yeah, I was looking at TV. And I was sitting almost right next to the TV. I mean, hardly 5 feet away, right? I'm sure I should have heard it, but it's possible to hear, like, but be oblivious, right? Because you withdraw from your senses and you are absorbed within yourself, right? And that's what, when you come back, it renews you, it gives you a freshness, right? So that's it's something very normal. This is nothing great, okay? But with time, like, it'll become automatic, right? But what makes it possible to go to deeper levels is this flow of transmission. In terms of cleaning, right? Here, okay, so in some sense, right, Mahesh and Kishore, right? Meditation is a passive process. All that you do is you sit, suggest that there is a light in my heart, a source of light, and just feel what's happening here, observe what's happening here, and you just get absorbed in yourself. It's very passive. You don't really do much. In fact, we ask you not to do much, right? But cleaning is not like that. It's a dynamic process. In cleaning, what works is your own willpower. Right? What's willpower? Willpower is nothing but the motive force that we have in us to translate thought into action. I'll give you an example, right? I mean, you sit in your car, okay, and you've started the car. You need that little gentle push on the accelerator before the car starts moving, right? You have a loaf of bread, you have a knife. You put the knife on the loaf of bread, it's not going to cut. It's going to apply just that light pressure, right? I mean, which will cut the loaf of bread, right? That difference is really what is the difference between thought and action, right? And willpower plays a part. I'll give you an example which everybody will relate, right? What is the time that you get up in the morning when you're awake in bed to the time you get out of bed, right? what is that little difference between you being awake in bed and the time you get out, right? Do you hit the snooze button once, twice, 10 times, right? That is willpower. If I'm awake and the same moment I'm sitting in bed and I'm out of bed, my willpower is very, very advanced, it's matured. But if I keep hitting the snooze button, right, I mean, that means like, well, we need to work on it, right? So as we do cleaning, right, just like you keep using a knife, it remains sharp. The more and more we use our willpower, okay, it also becomes sharper, better, stronger, right? And we can do things much quicker, right? I mean, and we get a grip on ourselves, right? Next slide. So the last thing is that, like, meditation and cleaning, okay, the way it's designed is that this complements each other. You will find that when you meditate, your cleaning process is effective because your mind is sharper, okay, and you're able to apply your will better. And when you clean, you've decluttered your mind, you remove the emotional baggage, right? You sleep better, and next morning you'll be able to meditate better. And the cycle goes on, right? So here, you start with 10 minutes if you can, doesn't matter. So in some sense, I would put an emphasis on regularity, okay, rather than the time. You do once, you do for 1 hour, but then the next week you don't do. It's not as effective as doing every day, and then slowly increase the time that you're able to practice meditation. Right? Next slide. So this is the daily practice which you can all do, okay? But how does it really bring about inner change, right? So this is where, right, I mean, you see an iceberg, it seems so small, right? But a small iceberg, like, was enough to sink the Titanic. Because we all know that, right? Less than 5% of the iceberg is above water, right? Everything else is below water. So when we see a lot of challenges within us, right? I mean, in terms of the need to change, the change is not on the external, it's on the internal, right? So consciously, what we do is to act in terms of saying, yes, I will do my meditation, I will do my cleaning, right? And that's the conscious practice, right? But when the actual process works, it actually works at the subconscious level, right? And that's where, like, the real change starts happening. It's like, going to the root of the tree, like, and making it healthier in some sense, right? What you will expect to happen, what you should expect to happen is as the roots grow healthier, it will have a manifest effect, in your waking consciousness and your life, right, as things go on, right? And that's really, okay, how this process works, right? Though we act at the conscious level, it really works at us at a deeper level, right, and brings about change. Yeah. Next slide. So this is about, like, what you do on a daily basis by yourself, like, but Heartfulness Institute is a global organization. And we have support systems worldwide, right? And everything is provided free of charge. People like me, Partha, we benefited enormously, and we want to share this with others, like, so that they can benefit too. And that's about it, right? So there are, like me and Partha, there are about 11,000 trainers around the world. You can go to heartfulness.org and find the closest trainer near you. You can find what's called a heart spot. On Wednesdays and Sundays, typically people get together physically. It might be somebody's house. It could be a public hall, like, it could be a school, like, we get together to meditate for an hour or so. Okay, half an hour. Okay, there's an app called Hearts app. You're welcome to download it. And let's say, like, on Thursday night, like, when you feel very troubled, like, and you feel meditation can help, but you would like the support of a trainer, you can't go around knocking people's doors, right? But remember, it might be night for you in the UK or India, whatever, right? But somewhere else in the world, it's day and people are available, right? So what it does is Hearts app is like the Uber for meditation, right? It connects you virtually with a trainer somewhere in the world who's available, and they're able to sit with you and meditate with you. And when a trainer is available, they can help facilitate your cleaning and also, like, this flow of transmission, right? I mean, it's much more potent, and hence you will feel a different effect. Right, there are about 200 plus meditation centers, like, many of them in India, but we have one in Stratford in UK. Okay, we have one in Denmark. We have multiple ones in the US. So it's all over the world. There's a magazine. It's something more than wellness. It's really about inner change and transformation, called Heartfulness Magazine, and our world headquarters, right? I mean, at Hyderabad, right? I mean, if you have this time, sometime, like, you can come for a retreat. Right? Next slide. So that's really, like, what I wanted to speak about, right? The last question, I think I already mentioned this, to Kishore last time, right? How do I find the time, right? I mean, an hour and a half, like, isn't that too much of an ask, right? Hit the button, Partha. So really, right? I mean, let's say that you have to saw a big log of wood, right? I mean, and you and I are doing it together, right? I mean, pulling and pushing away on a big saw. Okay, what happens if we find that the saw is blunt? Will you take 5 minutes to sharpen the saw? Or will we say, oh my God, we've got so much wood to saw, like, I mean, and we can't afford to take time off, right? That's really what happens with heartfulness practices, right? I mean, you do take an hour, but remember, first of all, it's an investment in yourself. You're not doing this for anybody else, right? The second thing is that we find that, like, hit the button again, Partha, twice. And we find that, like, it actually gives you time back. Okay, we had an example. I was running a retreat, like, a couple of months back. We had one of the IT employees from HCL come over. This guy has been practicing for about 4-5 months back. And he said, like, at the beginning, I was just, it's an icebreaker. I was saying, hey, so what have you found with heartfulness, right? And this guy said, I've been doing it for 4-5 months, like, and I find that I'm able to do a day's work in about 4 hours, 5 hours, right? I mean, I'm so much more focused that, it really helps me do things faster, right? So my submission is, you try it for yourself. Don't listen to me. You don't have to believe me, right? But if you're able to try it and be regular, and you see, like, what these tools are able to give back, right? I mean, logically, I think it's very clear, right? I mean, you use your mind, your heart all the time, right? But when you're able to sharpen these tools, you will be so much more effective in whatever you do, right? So that's really, like, it's just a consolidation, a recap that I wanted to do today. Next slide, Partha. I think with that, like, we'll actually experience. All right. We will do the relaxation and meditation again today. And today, Partha has a couple of surveys that he wants to run you by. So I'll try to finish in the next 20-25 minutes, and then we'll take the last 10 minutes towards questions and surveys. Yeah? That's all right. Can we go ahead? Yeah. Similarly, when you do cleaning, right, you're removing complexities and impurities using your own will from your system. What a trainer is able to do is also help facilitate the cleaning process of people who are meditating with him or her, right? So in some sense, it's the same ability, right? But it's just expanded a little bit, right? To be able to include others and create that effect in some sense, right? And it helps facilitate your own effort in meditation. So that's where, like, if you do feel the need, like, for help, okay, and you're not able to feel much in meditation, or you're feeling heavy, just contact a trainer or use the app and have a meditation session with a trainer, and you will see the difference, right? And so all this help is available. It's really for you to use it and take help, right? Go to the next slide, Partha. So that's really it. We welcome you to this journey of inner change and inner transformation. And at this time, like, there are other techniques. We'll cover it in good time over the next 10 weeks. But all that you do is morning, a few minutes of meditation, see if you can get it to 30 minutes, and cleaning in the evening, right? And Partha will share these slides with you, and you can go to our website, find trainers. Partha can help you find that, like, and you can use all the resources that we have. We're a non-profit global organization, and most of what we offer, okay, is free of charge, right? So we welcome you to the practice. Partha has a couple of surveys. The basic idea here is that while we're partnering with Oracle, the Heartfulness Institute also likes to do an analysis of what is the impact this is having on people, right? So we're going to put out some surveys here at the beginning of this 10-week course, and we'll do the same at the end. And then we will see what the difference is, and we'll publish the results to you and your organization as well. Partha, over to you.
Thank you, Sriram. Hello, everyone. Once again, I have shared with you a link in the chat, the Zoom chat. Please visit menti.com, and the screen will ask you for a code. Please enter the code, which I have shared with you in the Zoom chat. It doesn't take more than a minute. There are 4 questions on the topic of meditation. So within a few seconds, you can finish the survey. If you can please attempt it. Next 2 minutes, let us quickly finish this. Thank you.
In menti.com, Partha, what's the 6-digit code? that we have?
671583.
671583. Thank you.
If everyone has done it, we will move to the second one. It is basically a pre-assessment, a baseline assessment on the stress scale. I'll be sharing the link with you in the Zoom chat. It's basically a Google survey. I've already shared the link in the Zoom chat. If you don't mind, please attempt it. over to you, Sriram. I think most of us have done it.
Yeah, I think since we are kind of on time, if there are questions, please take a note of it. Okay, I will see you again next week, and we will start off with a 10-session series called Leading with the Intelligent Heart. It's really designed for managers and leaders. And the basic idea is to bring together a confluence of experience, which you've already been doing, scientific research data, neuroscience data, combined with leadership principles, right? To see really how we can bring all of these three together and understand some of the things which, like performance, like listening, like health, like joy and success, topics which are very relevant to all of us as professionals, right? Get a deeper insight and also experience and bring about an inner change, and how we can move a little north on those parameters, right? So I'll work with you, me and my team, over the next several weeks, and look forward to seeing you all next Thursday again. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.